Sarah had always been afraid of her grandmother's old house. The towering Victorian home sat on the edge of town, surrounded by gnarled trees that creaked even when there was no wind. But after her grandmother passed away, Sarah had no choice but to stay there for a few weeks to settle the estate. The house was eerily silent, save for the occasional groan of the wooden floorboards. On her first night, as she lay in bed, she heard a faint scratching noise coming from the attic. Probably just mice, she told herself, pulling the covers tighter. The next night, the scratching was louder. It was rhythmic, deliberate, as if someone was dragging something across the attic floor. Sarah hesitated, but finally worked up the courage to investigate. Armed with only a flashlight, she climbed the creaky attic stairs. The air was thick with dust, and cobwebs hung like curtains. Boxes were stacked haphazardly, filled with her grandmother's belongings. She swept the flashlight beam around the room, nothing unusual. But just as she turned to leave, she saw something move in the far corner. A dark figure stood there, barely visible in the dim light. It was hunched over, its back heaving with slow, ragged breaths. Sarah's heart pounded. Hello?" she whispered. The figure straightened. The moment it moved into the light, Sarah saw its face, or rather, the lack of one. Its skin was smooth, featureless, like a mask of stretched flesh. Sarah stumbled backward, nearly tripping over a box. The thing tilted its head, as if studying her. Then, in a voice that was eerily familiar, it whispered, "You shouldn't be here." Sarah screamed and bolted down the attic stairs. She didn't stop running until she was outside, gasping for breath. The next morning, she found an old photograph in one of her grandmother's albums. It was a picture of her grandmother as a young woman standing beside someone with the same height and build as the figure in the attic. But the person in the photograph had no face. Sarah never stepped foot in that house again.